Buffalo,
Hey everyone, just before we start today's video, I would like to let you know that only about 2% of you guys that watch my videos are subscribed to the channel. So be sure to smash those like and subscribe buttons so I can continue to make awesome content and do more giveaways for you guys as well. And without further ado, let's get on with today's video. Hey guys, Master Aiden Kenobi here. Before we start today's fan fiction, I would again like to thank every single one of you that has subscribed to my channel so far. We have just reached 500 subscribers, and I just can't believe how fast my channel has grown these last 6 months. And again, it is all thanks to you guys. So without any further delay, let's finally get to today's fan fiction. In today's fanfiction, we will be covering a very interesting and intriguing topic. What if Anakin never killed Dooku aboard Grievous's ship, the Invisible Hand? So sit back and relax as we cover yet another Anakin Skywalker event that would undoubtedly change the very fathom of the Star Wars galaxy forever. Anakin and Dooku were twisting and turning, engaging each other in lightsaber combat, each swing and jab being parried by the other opponent. Palpatine watched the two flow across the command ship's spire as he witnessed his grand plan unfold as with each passing moment, Anakin would dip deeper and deeper into the dark side. All of a sudden, Anakin and Dooku were locked in a stalemate, their two sabers hitched together. I sense great fear in you, Skywalker. You have hate, you have anger, but you don't use them. Suddenly, Anakin would break free from Dooku's saber. Now he would fully embrace the dark side. He would force Dooku back, then he would go into full offensive mode. He would then keep pressing on, eventually sweeping his lightsaber through the Count's wrists, disarming him. Good, Anakin, good. Kill him. Kill him now. I shouldn't. Do it. Anakin took several seconds to contemplate his decision. He could kill Dooku now, but in doing so disobey the Jedi Code. Or he could spare Dooku and turn him over to the Jedi Council, and in doing that, perhaps they could solve the mystery of the Sith Lord that Dooku had told Obi-Wan about 3 years prior on Geonosis. No, he must stand trial. I'm going to turn him over to the Jedi Council. Palpatine was disgusted with Anakin's decision. His plans were now in jeopardy. After capturing Dooku, Anakin would quickly sprint over to his unconscious friend lying on the floor. Anakin would pick up his old master and carry him on his back. Unfortunately, the group still had several things to be very worried about. The droid leader, General Grievous, was still aboard the ship and would surely send groups of droids after them. And there was yet another problem as well. How are they going to get off the ship? Thinking very quickly, Anakin would contact his little droid friend, R2-D2, and tell him to contact the nearest Republic cruiser to send a rescue team to get them off Grievous's ship. Eventually, after sneaking through the ship to the hangar bay, the rescue team had arrived to take the group back to Coruscant. Upon arriving, Anakin and Obi-Wan would take Dooku to the Jedi Council to be questioned. Palpatine would return to his office within the Senate to contemplate the unfortunate turn of events in his grand plan to destroy the Jedi once and for all. After interrogating Dooku, the Council would finally realize the entire point of the Clone War. Dooku would also let them know that Palpatine was the Sith Lord they had been looking for, and that he had commissioned Jango Fett to shoot down Sifo-Dyas' ship and become the clone template. After contemplating Anakin's heroics, as well as his adherence to the Jedi Code, they would decide to grant him a seat on the Council as well as the great rank of Jedi Master. Their greatest fears had finally been realized. They would have to act quickly in order for the Jedi Order to survive. The Council would arrange the arrest of the Chancellor, now known to them as the mighty Sith Lord, Darth Sidious. The Council would send its best members to arrest the Chancellor, including Mace, Kit Fisto, Plo Koon, Saesee Tiin, Aegon Kolar, and last but certainly not least, now turned Jedi Master, Anakin Skywalker. Obi-Wan and Yoda would stay behind at the Jedi Temple in order to protect it in case there was an attack there. Once the group of Masters arrived at the Chancellor's office, they would confront him and try to arrest him. Master Windu, I must say you're here sooner than expected. In the name of the Galactic Senate of the Republic, you are under arrest, Chancellor. Palpatine would take a different approach this time, rather than being so aggressive due to Anakin being present. After all, his plan was now in pieces. If he conveyed aggressive and evil actions to Anakin, the young Jedi would feel further apart from him than he already did at that point. Back at the Jedi Temple, Yoda and Obi-Wan would prepare everyone for a possible attack. Every Jedi Council member would be stationed at a different part of the temple so that it had no weak spots. All other knights and Padawans would be equally placed throughout the entire building, while the younglings would stay in the Jedi Council chambers as they were the future of the Jedi and their protection was of foremost importance. Now, since Palpatine didn't want to sway Anakin further away from him, he wouldn't confront the group of Jedi, at least not yet, but he would need to get these filthy Jedi off of his back, so he would secretly turn around and whisper into his comlink, "Execute Order 66. Following these orders, every single clone trooper around the galaxy would turn on their Jedi generals and commanders. This is what the Jedi Temple had prepared for. As soon as the clones entered the temple, they would start firing upon each and every Jedi in their line of sight. Many of these first-line Jedi would be killed because of the surprise attack by the clones. But once the Jedi knew what the clones' true intentions were, they would prove difficult to beat. After all, each Jedi was trained in a very strict manner, including their lightsaber teachings and the way they should carry themselves. Obi-Wan and Yoda were communicating with each other while simultaneously cutting many clones down as if they were like butter. Their discussion was about the younglings that were hiding in the council chambers.
"Draw away the clones from the council chambers, we must."
Understood, Master Yoda. I only hope that Anakin and the others are faring as well as we are.
Up to the will of the Force, their fate is.
Back at the Chancellor's office, the group of Jedi were dealing with the clones that had entered the office to try to kill them before they could engage the Dark Lord of the Sith. Anakin's skills were still increasing. He would easily deflect each and every blaster bolt the clones would shoot at him. The other Jedi would fare the same way, so that they would easily cut down each and every clone trooper until there were no more that could flow into Palpatine's office. At last, the Jedi would threaten Palpatine, each one of them aiming their lightsabers at his throat. This was what the Sith Lord had wanted all along, Anakin to see a Jedi threaten a defenseless man. But of course, Palpatine had had enough. He would stand up fiercely out of his chair. "It's treason, then." The mighty Sith Lord would ignite his crimson red lightsaber and force push the group of Jedi away from him. Even before they could get up, he would use a force scream and become nothing but a flash to all of the Jedi besides Mace and Anakin, who were easily the most powerful Jedi compared to the others. Darth Sidious would easily strike down Kolar and Sazi Tin, as these two were the weakest Jedi in the group. The Sith Lord's plan would be to eliminate the weakest links first, and then slowly make his way to engage Anakin and Mace. With a few more twists, turns, and flips, Sidious would thrust his saber through each Jedi that wasn't Mace or Anakin. He would do so swiftly that Anakin was both disgusted and amazed by the sequence of events that was happening before him. Now Sidious would engage Anakin and Mace. The three Force users were spinning, going blow for blow, flashes of red, blue, and purple only visible to the naked eye. Even Sidious was surprised at how powerful Anakin had become. Now there was no doubt in his mind that he would have to separate the two in order to kill Mace and then turn Anakin to the dark side. Sidious could see the pieces of his grand plan slowly coming back together. Mace Windu was a fierce fighter. He could see into the Dark Lord's plan, using Shatterpoint. "Skywalker, we must stay together. He's going to try to separate us." "Yes, Master." The two Jedi would do their best to stay together, but unfortunately Sidious would outsmart them using a powerful blast of Force lightning to render Anakin to the ground, making him unconscious for several seconds. Now Palpatine would put his actual plan into motion. He would let Mace best him, and by the time Anakin was conscious again, he would have to make a decision. Mace would lean left to strike at the Sith Lord's stomach, but he would dodge the blow easily. Mace would continue his attacks, eventually cornering Palpatine and knocking his lightsaber out of his hands. "You are under arrest, my lord." Conveniently for Sidious, Anakin was now conscious again, standing right beside the two Force users with many thoughts and ideas racing through his mind. "I knew it would come to this. Anakin, you must realize what the Jedi are trying to do. They mean to destroy the Republic and its senators and take control for themselves." Anakin Skywalker, the Chosen One, would be left with a very hard choice: side with the Sith or with Mace Windu. And that is it for part 1 of today's fanfiction, guys. Thank you all for listening along and watching today. Please let me know what you think should happen down below in the comments. Also, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, as once we reach the 500 subs, which we already have, there will be a giveaway. And of course, you must be subscribed to join. And lastly, I would like to thank all of you who have subscribed so far, and again, thanks for watching. And as always,